everyone, Julian here. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a full disco house track from scratch. We're going to be talking about every single element, all the way from the drums to the sample to the bass line, how to make everything, as well as how to arrange it, and some tips for getting unstuck with arrangements, because I know that's one of the hardest things for a lot of people. As usual, you can get this full project file, samples, MIDI, presets, the entire template that you just heard in the intro, literally an entire full track Ableton template here. It's available at the top of the description on my website. It's a very, very accessible and affordable template, and it's one of the highest quality on the market as well that I've heard. So definitely go grab that. You know, there's really not a whole lot like this. Plus, like I said, this is something that can really help you take your tracks to the next level. You know, if you guys are struggling with arrangements or just with song ideas in general, this is perfect. Or if you just want some new inspiration, you know, it's all there. This is going to help you take your tracks to the next level today. I promise. I'm not just playing with you guys. This stuff really can help you, and I've watched it help people taking their music to the next level. So thank you so much for the support, everybody. Definitely go ahead and grab that. Links at the top of the description, and let's dive in. Alright, so we're at 126 BPM, and the first thing I want to talk about actually is the sample. So when it comes to the sample, what you're going to do is you're going to pick your sample, and I like to have kind of like 3 or 4 chops with the sample. So in this case, I'll show you what they all are. So we've got this one down here, which is MIDI, and then I believe this one. Okay, so we got so it's 3. It's those 2, and then we also have this chop, which I'll turn off the side chain so you can hear. Right? And what these different chops are going to allow you to do is you're going to allow you to basically structure your track, right? Because now the structure is basically going to be kind of building from the lowest energy chops, like over here, or maybe this one, building up to then like more energy with this one, right? And we can rock that for a little bit. And then we go to this one, which is like the most energy. And it's all kind of coming from the same thing. It's all similar, but it's not just like the exact same sample the whole time through, because I think if you get one sample and try to loop it the whole time through, you're going to really struggle with keeping the track exciting. So with this one, like I said, it's just these 3 different loops. You can see I've quantized some of the parts in here to make them fit really well with like the kick and stuff. And then, yeah, this chop down here. So this chop is actually taking, there was another loop from the sample. It's not the 2 that I've shown you. But basically what you do is you click on those and you see it's either right click or double click if you're on a Mac. Slice to new MIDI track, and then you can do half note slice. And what that gets you is you get to these chops where you get a kick and a snare. Like that. And then you can make patterns out of that. And because there's so much of the original sample playing with this method where it's the half notes, you get these very like organic sounding chops. Like even though you're chopping across the record, it doesn't sound so choppy. But it's kind of creating this like different loop with it, rather than just like if you do like 8th note chops or something, it's not going to sound like that for sure. So we've got that. I've got a bit of a phaser on it. I've got a bit of drum bus on it. High pass to cut out the low end, make room for the bass. A low pass filter, which as you can see, there's quite a bit of movement on that. You know, it brings it in over here. And then also it goes down. And kind of comes right back up right before the drop, and then we're just side chaining it. So once you have your sample, then we move up actually to the bass line, because if you listen to the bass line, can hear the bass line's actually playing kind of what the sample is playing. So it's actually, a pretty simple progression. I figured out that the sample was in D sharp minor, and then you can just kind of listen for the notes inside of that scale. Like, once you figure out what that root note is, just, again, either you know the scale by heart or you can look at it on a chart in front of you. But basically just having that scale and then finding the notes inside of the sample. Like, you hear the bass line does that. Da-na-na-na. Right, so we're kind of just doing that and then taking a few liberties as well. You can see the bass line changes slightly when we switch to the other sample chops too. So the sound on the bass line, you usually want to keep it pretty simple. It's really just meant to be something very deep, but still a bit fatter with some harmonic content. So what we're doing is it's a square 16, right? A square wave with some of the harmonics taken out. And then we have a sine wave doing a bit of FM on that. You can hear that. We have a low pass filter with a little bit of an envelope to give it some punch. And then we're just side chaining this. I also have the kick here while we're at it. Right, just a nice punchy kick. Those are in a group together. And then on the group, we just have a high pass filter, which comes on in a few different times. Throughout the arrangement, you can see, at a lot of these, like, kind of transitions. And then there's also a low cut at 30 hertz to get rid of the stuff that you wouldn't really hear that can get in the way of your master. So from there, we move up to the drums. So you can hear, it's honestly a pretty simple groove when it comes to this stuff. I think if you try to have too much happening in the mid-range, it kind of clashes with the sample, right? So you really just want like a lot of like bright percussion like this. So starting with the main stuff, we got we have a clap and a snare layered. And also this little selector kit in here, adding some percussion. Then the hi-hat is this one. And this one. Just creating one really punchy hi-hat. We have these. Like some background. Ride, which comes in and out. This has got a high pass filter on it and a bit of chorus. We have this tambourine percussion. Like a live percussion element. Then we move down here to some of these strings. Now, the reason why these are important is because obviously, like, again, these types of tracks, very loopy, even having different samples, you still want something that's going to come in over that won't clash with it when you have the sample, but can kind of keep some of these parts over here that are more chill. It keeps it exciting. So this one is just like a high string. I'm looping it inside of a cymbal here. Reverb, Haas effect, a bit of saturation. This auto pin to make it kind of sound like it's sidechain. And then we have a low pass which makes it disappear. This one is playing like these chords. It's a string ensemble tremolo with the Haas effect. And a low pass automating it. Reverb, high pass automating as well. And then a sidechain. The chords is playing, so again, we're in the key of D sharp minor. It's actually a very simple little thing. It's just moving the minor third down to the ninth and then adding that fifth for the second chord. But it's nice because it's really steady underneath that bass line. Right, and then this one down here, just another high string. I like to switch it up and have like, 2 or 3 of those high strings so it doesn't just sound exactly the same every time. And then down here we have all the effects, right? So you can see, there's these crashes which come in very frequently and these claps as well. right? So like a lot of little things to kind of pull it into the next parts. We have this build up here where it's like a snare, you know, that steady snare like that, just building up in volume. But then we also have a clap, plus a little sweep under it, like a white noise sweep, and some other effects. And there it is. So that's going to be it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed. As always, make sure to like this video as well as subscribe. And let me know what you think of this video in the comments. Like I said in the beginning, you can get this full project file, samples, mini presets, the entire full track template for Ableton is available at the top of the description on my website. It's literally everything you need to get going and make a really high quality, full arranged track in this style. Grab this, finish it up, you know, make something for yourself so you can show your friends. I promise. You'll be really proud of what you make. This thing will take your track to the next level. You'll be extremely surprised the difference when you grab this versus before you had it. Thank you so much for the support, everybody. I really appreciate it. Every little bit helps. And I'll see you tomorrow with another video.